Welcome to everyone to our live show preview of the second World Cup quarterfinal between France and Morocco. Ashley, how are you doing today? I must say, very well done on your picks for the Croatia-Argentina game.
Yeah, doing well. It's been a great day. So betting wise, it's been great. And typically when that happens, the day in general is great. So everything is good on the island today for me.
Excellent. Yes, it was a very good show that we had. The only loser was my Brozovic to be carded. He came off, I think, injured in the 49th minute. So
Yeah.
I was a bit disappointed by that. The cards line actually ended under 4.5. The referee didn't give another card after the 71st minute, so I would have been pretty pissed off if I took the over on the cards.
Right.
But I got me the Perisic shots came in. He had 3 official shots with Opta. He actually had one on target, the long
You
range free
sure
kick
did.
from about 40 yards. Which, I mean, normally I would say, why the fuck would you shoot from there? But I was encouraging it when he
Right,
did
right,
that.
right.
But you absolutely smashed it, I must say, Ashley. You nailed it with a couple of same game parlays. Messi anytime, which is a massive price looking back. Plus 168 on Messi
Yeah, what
anytime.
I posted him for on Patreon. So I try to find the middle ground, right? Take like the lowest number, and I know we could find him as high as plus 168. So I posted him at plus 135. Kind of right there in the middle. But I think I played it for half unit on the show. Played it for a full unit personally, and on Patreon, which I don't usually do on goal scorers. But I was getting some. Some verbal jabs, kind of just for fun, though, on my plays, right? That they were square. I like Argentina. I like Messi to score all of that. I don't give a shit if they're square or not. I give a shit if they win. So, sometimes I think cappers try to overthink things, right? And they try to look too fancy and smart. So, like I said, I would have been way more shocked if Messi had not scored in the match. But yeah, few bounces go my way. This industry has a way of humbling you sometimes on a daily basis. So today feels really good. Now we put that behind us and try to move on to some winners in this France match.
Well, I certainly wouldn't say you had bounces go your way. You've comprehensively won the selections. And do you know what? I mean, I must say, certainly not surprised that Argentina made it through. I was surprised the manner of it. 3-0, very convincing. Croatia, they just didn't keep it 1-0 for long enough. I think if they kept it 1-0, then they
Yeah.
can regroup, reshape in the second half and possibly fight back. But the second goal, I was saying to a couple of guys I was at the time talking to, I said, that's game over. Then even Croatia are not coming back from that. The heart
Yeah.
was ripped out from them. I did see, you're right, there was quite a lot of interest on under 2 goals and Croatia plus a half goal. Now,
Yes.
I wasn't I certainly wouldn't. I mean, I didn't have an opinion either way, really, on either taking the minus a half or plus a half. I felt like the line was fair, so I couldn't knock anyone taking Croatia plus a half, but they
No.
did seem a real lot of interest on that play, which I didn't really get personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't knock anyone for taking Croatia
Mm.
plus half. I could see the argument for both sides because I didn't take Argentina money line. I ended up taking the same play that I gave out on the show of the draw double chance and over 1.5. But I did end up making a play on the total. Because it just all throughout the show, I just kind of thought like everyone was loving the under, and I just kind of felt like, and I did think Croatia could contribute to the total. But like I said on the show yesterday, I'm like, I think if you take over 2, the worst you do is push. So I made that a full unit play on Patreon, over 2 at a really good price. And yeah, that was like, at least secured by halftime. So ended up making a couple of more plays, as I studied it more. But yeah, just, my thing with the people that were taking Croatia plus half is that they were slamming the people like me, right? That were taking Argentina. It's like I'm, making a square play or whatever. It's like I'm not slamming you for taking Croatia plus a half. I can absolutely see an argument for that. They've been tough to beat, but yeah, if I'm not going to slam you, Don't be slamming me for taking what is the superior team. I mean, that's just the way that it is.
Yeah, it's very rare that I would slam anyone, anyone's tip really. It's just not my style. But what is a square play? It's not really a term we use over here in the UK and in Europe.
So, like sharp plays, right? Or plays that the
Yeah,
professionals are supposed
yeah,
to make, right? Like we find, weaknesses in the lines of,
yeah.
whether it's corners or whatever. So,
Value. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
square is basically like, just a public play, like, just taking the favorite, every time or
Right.
whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I thought that, taking Croatia, like I said in the show, I could see it being a draw after 90 minutes. But yeah, I don't know. I had good reads on it, and I'm hoping that some people that watched, tailed our plays. And like you losing that Brozovic card, there's absolutely nothing you can do about that. Obviously you expect a player to play more than 49 minutes, right? And I thought that had a really good shot of hitting at halftime because I knew that with Croatia being down 2-0, they were going to be really frustrated. So yeah, no, I don't, that's not a loss as far as a bad bet. That's just bad luck of a player not playing many minutes. So
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the part and parcel of the game. Sometimes your player is going to get taken off. I was happy enough with that. My mistake on the show, I should have advised the Perisic shot over 1.5 for a full unit rather than half a unit. That was me being a bit conservative with that particular play. But it was a very good show overall, actually very good. And the actual tournament, we are now over 10 units profit for the matches. So the yield is nearly 13%, which is very, very respectable indeed. I will be publishing these, the records from the show at the end of the tournament. So anyone can be able to view them online. Full transparency on this show, unlike some others out there. So,
of course,
yeah, we moved to France against Morocco, the second semi-final. Now, I've got to be honest, that sort of result we saw tonight, this is the type of result I'm expecting here against Morocco for France. I think they're going to be ultimately just too strong. And we've got several plays for the game, and most of them involve, in fact, all of them involve France doing well in this game. So if they don't deliver for us, we are in some trouble, actually,
right.
aren't we? But where should we start us off here? I'm just gonna tie it in with my first pick. France -1 Asian handicap. I just think they're going to be too strong overall. Very good chance they could probably win to 0 despite their defense struggling this particular tournament. I think we saw Croatia's issues physically, and that could be the same for Morocco. They're missing a lot of players potentially to injury or banged up players playing lame, and that's no fun, is it, when you're not playing at your full capacity. Defensively, they could be with a very makeshift centre-half pairing. I think France take advantage. -1 Asian handicap. All we need here is a 2-0 win or a one goal win for a push.
Right.
I will always take that any day of the week. I think I'm surprised that France are not short on this in terms of their price. So I'll start us off with that. We're going to go a little bit more here. France team total over 1.5, -112. In many ways, a far more simple bet. All you need is 2 goals. So you like them to fire in this game, don't you?
I do. I mean, it's a simpler bet if if it doesn't end 1-0 and then you're on a push and I'm on a loss. But yeah, I'm not trying to disrespect Morocco's defense here. They have been absolutely phenomenal against some really good teams. It's not like they've been playing some random teams you've never heard of. Shut out some really, really good teams. I just think that there's something about this France team. I know they have, some defensive deficiencies, but I'm just the reason I keep taking this France team is their firepower. I'm not concerned with their defense. Does Morocco score? Does Morocco not score? I would, maybe not, maybe so. It doesn't matter to me. I love my play even more if Morocco do actually score. France is just one of those teams. I think I was alluding to that yesterday. You score on them, it almost seems to light a fire under them and piss them off, where they come out and then they just start, taking you behind the woodshed. So fantastic Morocco defense. I don't think they've come up against the firepower here, and just I mean, this is just strictly on France front three, and the fact of like Griezmann doing phenomenal, just knowing how to get that ball in the box to certain players in certain positions. So yeah, I would be surprised. Yet again, I know people are expecting maybe a 1-0 win, but just like yesterday, I thought, the Argentina match, we would see goals. I think we see at least 2 from France. I'm not going to get too crazy with it, but it wouldn't shock me to see France put up 3.
Yeah, I would. If you offered me now the 2-1 win for France, I would take it, because I know we're at least winning with the team total here, and I'm not going to lose on the Asian, and we'd probably win one of the goal scorers that we're going to be talking about very soon. But
right,
I mean, I've just got a list here. Where's my notes? That Morocco have got injury problems at the back. We know Naif Aguer has been suffering with problems all year for West Ham. He looked good in the tournament, but didn't play in the quarterfinal. Roman Saiz was taken off on a stretcher in the quarterfinal. He said he's going to try and do everything he can to get on that pitch. Well, if he's actually on the pitch, I probably like the French bets even more, because I just don't think he's going to be at full capacity. I mean, they might be starting with Akraf Dari, who doesn't even start for Brest in Liga, and Brest have hardly kept a clean sheet all year. So that is what the French attack might be up against, and I just do worry for Morocco defensively. If they were at full strength, maybe they'll have a better chance, but they've been extra time. They've put so much effort into the tournament. They've only had 32% of the ball. They've been chasing around. They've overachieved their expected goals against by over 5. Now, that is, in fact, we were talking about a team in the league. We were saying they cannot continue to overachieve like that throughout the season.
Right.
All right, a tournament is a much smaller band of results, but at some point, I think that's going to come against them. So, yeah, I do fear for Morocco, and we're going to go with a couple of goal scorers. But before that, let's talk you through your same game parlay. You've been doing really well with these in this tournament, Ashley. It's something which I don't think of that. This type of bet isn't as popular, I don't think, over in Europe. It's opened my eyes to potential. So a full unit here on a trio of outcomes, and you can talk us through them.
Yes, first I'd like to say hello to my man, Mr. Smith. They've been following each other on Twitter for a while. Just super cool, awesome guy there. And one quick thing too, what you were saying about with Morocco overperforming defensively. I know, like you say, tournaments that it's a smaller sample size, but right, I do expect that to regress to the mean here. So yeah, on to this one, and this is a special that's specifically on Bovada, but you guys know it's the World Cup, so you should be able to find this on multiple books. Just tons and tons of these, different combos for you to bet. So this one's pretty straightforward. Doesn't matter how many France score here. So it's just France to win, France to have the most corners, which I definitely expect. We all know Morocco's, average possession time. I don't see them outdoing France in the corner battle here. And France to have the most shots on target, which I absolutely expect that to happen too. So I would kind of price this one, I would be thinking more like at least minus 130 for that. So to me, getting this at minus 110, just a great price, and no way that I'm passing on that. Just everything leads to, maybe if it ends in a draw, that's the one you have to worry about. But I don't think the corners and shots on targets are even going to be shots on target. I don't think those will be an issue here.
Yeah, you could maybe even argue that this bet is basically on France to win at minus 110, because the corners, I think Morocco have only had 5 corners in the whole tournament or something. They just don't get them, partly because they hardly have the ball. Secondly, whenever they're in the final third of the field, Ziyech and Boufal are just trying to cut inside all the time. So it makes it really hard for them to win corners. The shots on target race, you would think France should have enough there. I think Morocco will have to swing at some point in the game. I think there's a couple of places I've advised over 2.5 Morocco shots on target, but I only see them getting probably 3 or 4. France should be getting 5 or 6 or more shots on target. So just comes down to the France win, probably. It's an interesting little way that you've sort of moved the goalposts to get yourself a -110 potentially on France to win. And also, I'd like to say hello to Lowin Smith. That sounds a very Welsh name. I'm not sure if you're from Wales or not, but welcome to the show. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know where he's trying to say, but we chat on. He's a guy we've been following each other on Twitter for a while. Just super cool guy. So yeah, glad you're watching. Nice to see you today. Hopefully you watched yesterday and bet some of those. But yeah, that's what, like you said, moving the goalpost. That's what I like to do. The books are good at what they do, and we're supposed to be good at what we do. So the books put things where they want them, and then I say, nah, no, thank you. I'd rather have them where I want them. And so, yeah, that's why I put a lot of combos together, doubles and trebles and things like that. So I can dictate where the line is, where I'm most comfortable with it. So this is just an example of that.
Yeah, you should be able to get that on any bet builder really around the world. Bovada, you said in the US. But yeah, it looks a very interesting same game parlay there, Ashley. We'll move on to the goal scorer picks, and this is a joint selection from both of us, really, because we both really love him in this fixture. Giroud to score any time for France at +188. I've looked around, and you can get this certainly at 3 different books over here in Europe. So it's not just a standout price. It looks a massive price to me for a striker who might be up against a makeshift centre half pairing. I mean, right. He should, if it was Akraf Dari, you would be very disappointed if you weren't scoring against Brest's backup centre back. I'm sorry. So and he's so good in the air, but also we've seen him be clinical finishing against Poland. For some reason, this man just delivers on the big stage for France. He doesn't let France down, and he gets criticism at club level throughout his whole career. He has. But I mean, this price, I was going to take him, to be honest with you. I was going to take him anything probably above +110 or +120. So to get +188, I'm like, it just stood out like a sore thumb, didn't it? Yep. Massive price, Ashley. I don't know if you've got much to add here, but it's just almost a must bet, isn't it, for this game?
Yeah, it is. I agree. That's why this is one of my picks too. Why we went on together on it. So, I think you're getting such a good price because yet again, here we go. Morocco's defense, I think, being a little bit over respected, and I may eat crow tomorrow. I might have to eat some of my words, and I'm not saying that Morocco won't be able to shut France down. They have proven people wrong match after match. But yeah, this is where I think that fantastic defense comes to an end. And I think we're getting better prices on these goal scorers because of Morocco's defense overperforming, or what I think is overperforming anyway.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those where they will at times frustrate France, but over the course of 90 minutes, I'm really struggling to see how they just contain them, and I just don't see them keeping the clean sheet on this occasion. I know they've done incredibly well recently with their tactical setup, but even if it's only 1 goal or 2 goals, I've got to think Giroud's going to be amongst the scorers there, or the next man. And you like Mbappe just for half a unit here. Giroud's three quarters of a unit play, by the way. Mbappe to score any time for you, Ashley, for half a unit, +130. He was shut out by England, but you are thinking that he is not going to have 2 games in a row going dry.
Yeah, shut out by England, and not only just shut out from scoring, just shut out from really being anyone who was contributing in the match. England did a fantastic job of making him a non-factor. So, I like Mbappe anytime he's at plus money. I like him against what I think is a defense that is going to regress to the mean. And I certainly like him coming off of a match where he was frustrated, right? And he is gunning for this golden boot. And so the same reason I like Messi, to get an assist or a goal, I'm just taking him to straight score because he's the selfish asshole I always talk about. But he's very good at what he does, which is scoring goals. So yeah, I think England, they boxed him in, and he's going to be able to prove that you're not going to make him a non-factor 2 matches in a row. And I would take him at -120-ish, probably. So yeah, any plus money on this guy in this scenario, I like this play a lot.
There's going to be a lot of talk about his matchup with his PSG teammate Akraf Hakimi, and Hakimi is perhaps the best right back in the world, but the difference compared to Kyle Walker is that Hakimi is probably more of an offensive right back, really. Now, Walker's probably better defensively suited to handling Mbappe. Certainly doesn't mean Mbappe is going to have his way here, but I think there'll be more moments where he's involved. Also, France has a chance they might switch him up into a bit more of a central position, maybe even on the right-hand side for like a 5 or 10 minute burst, because that's what I would do. If I see my best player get shut down in a game, I want to make him active again, unless I think it's for the benefit of the whole team that the rest of the players... I mean, that's what happened with England. They shut Mbappe down, but they forgot about Griezmann and Giroud. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I like us going here too with having Mbappe and Giroud, because I full on obviously expect France to score. And so, you know, I think between these two guys, right, like I wouldn't be surprised for both of them to hit. But yeah, I mean, you definitely think at the big plus money on Giroud and plus money here, you just think one of the two hits, right? And you know, I would be shocked if at least one of these didn't hit, because try to take Mbappe out and, you know, good luck containing Giroud. He's been on a tear. And yeah, so I think having both of these guys covered is a good angle.
Do you know what I think might be a good bet here is to, I don't know if it's even possible to take this anywhere, Mbappe to score in the last 20 minutes, because at that stage, I personally think France are possibly going to be leading the game. Morocco have got to take more risks. They're going to be so tired. And Mbappe will definitely want to score in this game. He'll want to get a goal. And he can hit them on the break with his pace. Right. And I could see him definitely netting in the last 20 minutes of this game. So
I would be surprised if it's not available. I mean, they have anything you can and can't imagine to bet on. So, yeah, I bet you can. I'm going to look when the show's over, but yeah, I'm going to say that you can find that somewhere.
Or wait in running and just strike whatever his goal line is at that stage. So if he scored a couple already, maybe get him on a hat trick. But we've got a couple of big final plays just to round the show off here. Interesting ones here, Ashley. Antoine Griezmann, specifically to assist a goal for Mbappe and Giroud. These are two separate plays. A quarter of a unit each, plus 500 for Mbappe, plus 800 for Giroud. I know this is with Bovada over in the US. Not sure. I'm sure it will be available somewhere. Specifically, Bet Builder, request a bet, perhaps on your bookie, wherever you might be around the world. But I mean, let's talk about Griezmann here, because we've not even given him a mention yet. Possibly man of the match against England. He seems supremely technically in this tournament, and yeah, he just is an assist machine.
He is. Watching him, you know, it's close. I mean, they have so many good players. You know, Giroud's been doing fantastic, and Mbappe before England shut him down. But Griezmann, I mean, you could make an argument for him being the MVP of this France team. Just, you know, two beautiful shots in there, you know, crosses to Giroud, you know, which he scored that header on the second one. But man, I mean, he was just perfect ball placement, right? So yeah, you know, Griezmann to assist Mbappe on a goal for a quarter of a unit, and Griezmann to assist Giroud at plus 800. You know, I think they're both great value, and like we were talking before the show, might even be not only more value, obviously, because it's plus 800, but could be even more realistic that, you know, Giroud running up the middle there is, you know, does have more of a shot to get one of his assists. So, you know, quarter unit risk here. It's one of those where, yeah, they're obviously risky, but do they have a chance of hitting? Yeah, they absolutely do.
Loman says he's heard that in the some of the French squad might be ill. I've not come across that, but that's the sort of rumours that happen in World Cups. I've seen this happen before. Wasn't there a match where we were worried about earlier in the tournament?
Yeah, who was the team? It was like the whole team had
and they won easily.
Or something.
Yeah, and they won very, very easily. So I don't know. This can be scaremongering a little bit, can't it? I mean, at the end of the day, if you are ill, unless you are literally on your sick bed so much, they can give you all sorts of medication that get you through a game of football. So
Yeah, and like I was listening to someone say with whatever team it was, they made that shit up about the whole team had the flu or something. It might have been France then. It's
I
like
can't remember who it was.
they were saying,
Yeah.
like, if something like that were true, there's no way that team would let that news get out. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. And you know, I mean, honestly, I would take a France team that's ill to still pull out a victory here somehow.
I think Adrian Rabiot was the man most linked with this illness. And he actually had a good game, to be fair to him, against England. He's had a decent tournament. He's not what you'd call an elite player. I think that one of the centre-backs as well, Upamecano, who was shocked. He was the worst player on the field against England. He might be, I mean, that wouldn't be the worst loss, I don't think. They can bring, at the end of the day, the French defence isn't going to be tested that much here. So, yeah, look, these sort of rumours can if you're really worried about it, wait until you see the lineup. That's the advice I would say, because that can be a sensible thing for people to do. You know, until we get the official lineup going, then there's not a lot you can say, is there? You're sort of in guess mode. And I still can't remember which team it was that was hit down by the mystery illness and they won very easily.
Yeah, it's going to hit us as soon as we log off. I'm wondering if it was France. I don't know. Whoever it was, I think I had a bet on them because I was like, oh, shit. But yeah, it turned out to not be.
I was scared shitless of it, and I didn't get involved. And in the end, I was like, "Why?" But okay. Well, those are our plays. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, tuning in live or on demand. And we've got 2 more shows left for this World Cup. We'll be previewing the game that no one wants to be part of, one of the most pointless games in world football, the 3rd place match. We will be doing a show on it, and of course, we'll be doing a show for the World Cup final as well. So best of luck for whatever you take. And thanks very much, Lolwyn Smith, for joining in on the YouTube chat live. Appreciate it, my friend.
Yes, appreciate you.
And Ashley, appreciate your thoughts as ever. I hope you have a great day and best of luck.
Yeah, you as well. We'll see you guys later.
See you around, everyone. Goodbye.